Nintendo stated that with all the content they've shown in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they've only scratched the surface of all the content in the game. Had the game before Super Smash Bros. Ultimate been Melee or Brawl, we would have been like, yeah, we knew that, but as far as Smash for 3DS and Wii U is concerned, the multiplayer and regular matches were the bulk of the game. However, if this is going to be the ultimate experience, the following changes need to happen. From what Nintendo has shown, we've already seen how most of the gameplay and multiplayer mechanics work in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The game's speed has been increased, lag has been reduced, but it still plays like a much enhanced version of the game for the Wii U. Aside from multiplayer and normal matches, we've seen nothing of the single player mode, and from the looks of it, the All-Star mode is going to be the hardest it's ever been, with 66 characters and counting to destroy one by one. As for the other modes, it'll be interesting what Sakurai does with the new game in terms of how the single player modes will play out. We will either get everything from the Wii U, untouched and untweaked, or we could get something better with more modes than ever before. If I were to have my pick, I would go with the following choices. The original classic mode from the original game from the Nintendo 64, and not the disappointing one from the Wii U and 3DS, needs to return. Smash Run needs to be implemented in the game. The original target test with character-specific challenges and obstacles needs to return. Board the platforms needs to return for younger and less experienced players to get better at the game faster. And finally, a story mode needs to return, maybe not as huge as the Subspace Emissary, but something of that nature and structure. Target Test in particular was one of the greatest modes in Melee growing up. No, not Target Smash and Brawl or Target Blast. We're talking about that mode where you spend 15 minutes getting that one target with Mario and then finally figuring it out after you look on the internet. Target Test was great in that it tested each individual character's abilities and didn't just put you on a level where you could use any character to beat it. Each character's moves and abilities mattered back then, and to see that go in Brawl was truly a sad thing to watch. Each character had their own individual stage with targets that specifically tested each character's moves, whether it be Yoshi's Echo Throw, Young Link's Wall Jump, Ness's PK Thunder, Mario's Cape, Fox's Blaster, and so many other abilities which were so vital to the challenge that if you had put any other character on the stage, they would not have been able to finish it. Each stage varied in design and each target's placement had meaning. The only thing that most players didn't like about it was how hard some of the stages were and how tricky some of the targets were to get. Target Test would be a great mode to bring back, but considering the 66 plus characters set to be playable in the game, this probably won't happen. But sure would be a crazy dream come true for me. It would be much more likely for Target Smash from Brawl to return, but who am I to say what Sakurai will or will not do? For the platforms. Let's just say it was a bit weird for any player going back to the original game for the Nintendo 64 for the first time. Even with this, it was truly an iconic mode in the original game, and it would certainly benefit new players to the series by giving them something specific which they can truly practice on without having 3 pros or CPUs on their tail trying to get that offstage hit. It will also give all players insight on the reach and recovery of their character, because even if you know how to get back to the stage with Kirby, you may have a much less successful time figuring out little max recovery strategies. On-screen tutorials would really help in this area, and in the area of Target Test, which I forgot to mention. It may not only help new players, but old players find new ways to recover and strike back at their opponent with deadly force. To say that it has a chance of returning would be a long shot, but with callbacks to some of the old Nintendo 64 stages, especially Saffron City, there may yet be hope for this iconic mode may return in full glory. Speaking of returning modes to their full glory, I have quite a few things to say about the classic mode in Smash 4 Wii U. It was certainly interesting, but definitely not worth returning. Sure, Master Court and Master Fortress were fun and all, but in the process, Master Hand and Crazy Hand are now just chopped liver compared to classic modes in previous titles. The only way they're going to fix this huge problem is if they either 1. Remove Master Core, or 2. Remove Master Hand and Crazy Hand and bring back the old classic mode. It wouldn't have been that big of an issue back in 2001, but Master Hand has gained a reputation he failed to uphold in 4, and that's not a trend I think would be wise to continue. As of now, the only way you can truly fight Master Hand is on 4.0 difficulty, and even that is way easier than need be. I wouldn't mind if they brought back the classic mode in Wii U, but they must call it something different if they're going to bring back Master Hand and Crazy Hand's reputation. The worst part about it? They even gave them some slick new moves that turned out pretty useless in the end. When we get into story mode, there's nothing half accurate any of us can predict. However, I do want these key points in the story. I want actual dialogue for the characters that actually talk. I can't imagine going through another complex story and never hear Sonic or Pit say a single word, or even Falco or Fox. Considering how expensive voice acting is, I would want text boxes though, a compromise I'm sure would get a lot of hate, but still better than nothing in my opinion. Another thing is that I would want it to be episodic. Rogers Base originally brought up this idea, and ever since I heard it, I can't get rid of the thought. Imagine getting the game and playing through the story mode only to learn that it's only the first episode and that a new episode will be released via update or paid DLC every month. We've seen constant update content flow into the game in the form of Kirby Star Allies, and since the same company makes Smash, why won't they do the same for it? With how many characters are on the roster, it would only make sense for them to make the story mode episodic, so it isn't too overwhelming and so it has a chance to include every character. The last thing that we have on the list and the most difficult to comprehend is Smash Run. For those of you who don't know, Smash Run was a mode where you destroy as many enemies as you could and collect power-ups on the way until a final showdown in which you face off 3 players, which can either be low-level CPUs or human players. What's so difficult about putting it in a console setting is the fact that the 3DS used separate screens for multiplayer, just like Mario Kart 7 and the multiplayer Zelda games. There's only 2 ways that multiplayer Smash Run could work in Ultimate. The first way is through split screen, which has never been done in the Smash series in any way. The second is through taking turns, an idea I'm not sure anyone is a fan of, especially considering how long it takes for one run. There's also a third option, which I think is the most likely, and that's an exclusive online multiplayer experience. It could also work in local play, but what's the chances of anyone finding 2 or more people in your same city or state who also own a Switch with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Online would be the best course of action, for sure. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it. Be sure to give a like, share your opinion, and subscribe if you're new. Want to hear more from me and all things Zelda, Sonic, and Smash Bros. Sorry for any of the poor editing. I had to cut the video short because with the announcement of Smash Direct coming on Wednesday, I had to get this video out as quickly as I possibly could because the subject, obviously, anything could be spoiled in a Smash Direct. So I had to get that done and I had to get it out fast. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that you forgive me for any sloppy editing or such. But I'm hoping to upload a lot more consistently, so I hope you all look forward to that. Take care, and I'll see you next time.